What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So it was requested recently about my favorite tobacco fragrances, and I said, well, as we get a little closer to fall, but the hell, I feel like doing it now. We're not really in the fall weather, but for some people, they're getting a little bit of that. I've heard people talking about cooler weather and 60-degree weather and all the good stuff. Not for me. Not for this guy, but it doesn't change the fact that I've got 10 incredible tobacco fragrances, literally my 10 favorites currently in my collection that I want to talk to you about here today. The price range is all over the place. Some of these you're expecting, some of these may surprise you. Some of these replaced originals. They're flankers that replaced originals because I just like them more, and so on and so forth. I'll try to have links down below for anybody that wants to check them out, but let's get into these 10. Stay tuned. Starting with the newest tobacco fragrance to my collection. This was a subscriber recommendation on one of those live shopping live streams that I like to do. I haven't really been able to spend a lot of time with it yet because it's just too heavy for the high heat humidity I'm dealing with currently. But for around 70 bucks, it's pretty damn good. Franck Boclet Tobacco. Definitely smells in the vein of Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille, but it's nice and boozy. That's the biggest difference here. Still definitely similar. Oh man, but it's so smooth from the booze. Gotta say, it's warmer because of it. It has that aromatic meets earthy and leafy tobacco spices, all the, soft woods, all the good stuff of Tobacco Vanille. Plus this rich, warm, boozy accord. Nice and ambery, a little fruity. Man, this is a good one. This is a good one, and you can get it for a really good price. Like I said, it was around 70 bucks, if I remember correctly, for this 100 ml. Had a really nice presentation. It's gone now. I don't really keep the boxes for pretty much anything except for those. Good stuff. Long lasting from the little bit of time I have spent with it. Again, if you have Tobacco Vanille or a lot of fragrances that smell like Tobacco Vanille, maybe pass on it. It's going to be very redundant to those. But if you don't have any of that stuff, this is one of the better twists on that DNA that I've ever smelled. It's Franck Boclet Tobacco. This is bitter almond. This is fruity sweet. This is very rich and earthy from the tobacco note in here. It's Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Extreme. Not for everyone. For some, this is the best in the line. For me, it's number 2. The L'Intense, I do prefer slightly. That smoky leather fragrance. That's the 2 main accords that are just so different. There is a little bit of leather here, but not like in the L'Intense. But it maintains the DNA. This entire line is good. Even some of the quirky ones like Cool and Sport. The whole line's good. The bitter almond note that they use for the signature. Guerlain did such a fantastic job with this line. This is a great performer. Has a strong masculine tone, but I don't think it's over the top masculine where some ladies that kind of like some slightly masculine leaning fragrances can't wear it. They can definitely get away with it. Just depends on your taste. Wear what you like, right? But again, fruity, nice and plum, juicy fruit smell. Earthy, rich tobacco. Slightly creamy, bitter almond. A little hint of leather. It's warm and rich and ambery. Not overdone with spice, but there's a clear spicy tone kind of floating in the backdrop. The quality's really good. It's around 90, 100 bucks for a bottle. It's definitely good stuff. I can't wait to get it in the rotation for fall. It's L'Homme Ideal Extreme. I've had an instance where it surprisingly got me a couple of compliments, and that was the only time it ever did. I've told the story many times before. I won't go into too much detail about it, but Montale Oud Tobacco has always surprised me. Monster performer, as you would expect with most Montale fragrances. This has kind of this dry, medicinal, woody tone to it. Now, this is going to sound crazy to some of you. I've always kind of got a little bit of that Flintstone vitamin smell in the opening. Maybe it's just me. I've had some people relate to it. Some people tell me I'm crazy. It's just what I get from it. I'm an 80s baby, 90s kid. I remember Flintstone vitamins very well. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of it. It's a drier oud tobacco. Nice and smoky. If you like smoky fragrances, you will like this more than likely. No guarantees. This is definitely not a friendly, mass-appealing profile. This is more perfume lover type of stuff, enthusiast level, if you will. And it's not really expensive. Sub $100 price point, ridiculous performance. You don't need but 2 or 3 sprays, honestly. Some people will tell you 15 to 30 sprays. That's wild as shit to me. I wouldn't advise, but hey, if you want to put 15 to 30 sprays, go ahead. I just don't have to hang around you. Thank God. Because I think with strength of this one, that's a bit much. That'll be overwhelming. But in the modest range of 3 to 5 sprays, this is really strong. People will smell you. And it's going to be quite unique. Again, dry, woody, earthy, not really all that spicy, but definitively smoky. Oud Tobacco. Now here's one from an indie brand that's a little different. Strong, chocolatey, patchouli, and honey combo give it this sweet gourmand feel with a rich tobacco accord. It's Authenticity Perfumes Tobacco Boss. 50% oil concentration. This stuff is really strong. You know, I lightly sniff and it's just overwhelmingly rich. The most chocolatey patchouli note I think I've ever smelled. And I think the honey intensifies that chocolatey sweet smell that I get. And again, it's a very earthy cigar tobacco, like a moist cigar tobacco. And that's the main things I get. I really don't get anything else. A little bit of orange in the top. Outside of that, I don't really get the other notes and accords. It's all about that, you know, bright orange citrus at the top, loads of chocolatey patchouli and honey, and earthy tobacco. I don't know what more you could ask for. It's actually quite unique. I don't have another tobacco fragrance that smells like this. These 10 aren't the only ones I have that feature prominent tobacco, trust me. But this, really good stuff. Some of Sonny's best work to date. And a very unique tobacco scent with great performance, and it's only like 45 bucks before any discounts. Maybe look into it. It's Tobacco Boss. Now, I got this one this year. I got it in the spring, if I remember correctly, beginning of spring. It has been too hot to wear it. I can't wait till I can finally get this in the rotation. This is one of the 5 best tobacco-forward fragrances I've ever smelled. It smells like you just rolled a Cuban cigar. It smells like a fresh cigar wrap, dry tobacco. It's not boozy like you would think from the name. Of course, it's got some sweetness to it, ambery, a little fruity up top. It is Plume Impression Royal Bourbon. Doesn't even say tobacco in the name, but boy, is this a tobacco fragrance. The quality is phenomenal, too. Really, really strong. I've worn it one time because it was still a little cool when I got it. It was literally like the very beginning of spring this year. And we had a gloomy day outside. It wasn't really raining, but it was gloomy. It was like maybe in the mid 50 degree range Fahrenheit. So it was crisp. It wasn't bad. A little bit of a breeze. And I just got it. The day before I did a first impressions on it, I was like, ooh, I got the weather to wear it tomorrow. And I've been kind of itching to get it back in the rotation since. This is that good. If this was ranked, this would be in the top 3. Actually, my top 3 kind of is almost ranked because this should be in place of what's at number 3. Because number 3 should be at number 4 and so on. So it's almost ranked. 1 and 2 are definitely my 1 and 2. Anyways, highly encourage you sample this. If you like cigar tobacco smells, quality, super high quality, luxurious smelling aromas that feature tobacco, this is a must sample for you. Performance monster. It is not a cheap fragrance. Another perfume lovers type of tobacco fragrance here. It's magnificent. It's Plume Impression Royal Bourbon. One of my favorite designers released this year. Nice earthy tobacco, but it's really a super spicy tobacco. Spiciest fragrance in the line. One of my favorite designer lines. Emporio Armani, Strong With You Tobacco. Another one that I got when the weather was heating up, so I haven't really been able to wear it as much as I would like to. But when I get my opportunity, it's going in the rotation for sure. It's up there. I put it in the top 3 of the line for sure. Right up there with Leather and Absolutely. I put this one as well, with Amber coming in a close 4th, because I really enjoy every fragrance in this line. There's no bad release. There's just better than others. This is better than others. 8+ hours longevity. Again, very, very hot, spicy, warm, and cozy with a nice earthy type of tobacco that doesn't overrun the fragrance. But it's a nice earthy tobacco accord. I don't know if it's real tobacco, but it definitely gives that dry tobacco smell. Dry and earthy, not the moist, super sweet type, because it's just overrun with spice. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a really good addition to the line, and you might want to get your nose on it, especially if you like the DNA. Strong With You tobacco. Some of these, they have multiple phenomenal tobacco scents from these houses. And the next three fragrances, this one and the following two, they have multiple amazing tobacco scents. I just wanted to pick my favorite of each to make it easier. I didn't want to have repeats from brands on here. So for me, of the two tobacco fragrances that I have from Amouage, this would be my choice. I love Journeyman. That is an amazing drier tobacco, but a beautiful sweet and spicy tobacco would be Boundless. I think Boundless is very underappreciated. This is so good. Zesty orange at the top. Of course, it's got that resinous oriental signature, the incenses and the balsamic notes and all the good stuff that Amouage is known for. Spices, beautiful tobacco, nice and ambery, vanillic sweetness. This gets related to Tobacco Vanille. I think this is far less like Tobacco Vanille than something like Franck Boclet tobacco. This is clearly like it. This is, there's some similarity, basically. I think this is far superior, personally. I don't care who agrees with me. That's just how I feel. Far superior to Tobacco Vanille, in my opinion. Great performance. Again, the resins, the incense really elevate this profile while still making it pretty approachable and mass appealing. I think it's a very easy to like, high quality, great performing tobacco fragrance that you should definitely get your nose on. It's Amouage Boundless. Now this next one, I don't think it's named correctly because it's not more intense than the original, but Intense Red Tobacco from Mancera. I like this more than Red Tobacco. The sweetness is muted. It's more wood and spice forward than it is super sweet. It's outstanding. Still smells like red tobacco, but it smells like if I was naming this, I wouldn't have named it Intense Red Tobacco. I would have named it Red Tobacco Privé. Something like that. Because I do think they refined the profile. It's still a beast, but Red Tobacco is a nuclear fragrance. That is the intense one of the two. So good. Smoky, animalic, leathery, woodsy. Again, it still has the sweetness. It's just muted when you compare it to the original. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. This is based on the name, not what I expected it to be, but it's better than I hoped it would be. I really love the way this profile comes across. I would take this 10 out of 10 times over actual red tobacco. It just suits my taste better. I think it makes it much more wearable for my personality and just, you know, like I said, goes back to my taste for what I like to wear. So I would highly encourage you to check this out. It's not as pungently sweet as the original in the opening, and it's not more intense, but it is better, I think. Mancera Intense Red Tobacco. Now with this one, I think it's high-level versatility. Gentleman's daily wear tobacco. I think if you're easy with the sprays, you can wear it in the summer. Not the best choice in the summer, but the other 3 seasons, day and night, professional settings, all that good stuff, it works. It's very well balanced. It brings you sweetness, woody notes, smoky notes, spices, booze. You get all of those different types of tobacco fragrance in one with a leafy aromatic tobacco. Zaharoff Signature Tabac. Definitely, these top 2 are definitely ranked. This is my second favorite tobacco fragrance. I'm a huge fan of this one. I think you can wear this for just about whatever. Maybe not for the younger fellas. I can't imagine them enjoying this. It's a much more mature gentleman's type of profile. I'm just such a fan of this one. Such a fan. Sample it. You get samples cheap in the link below. They're like $7 before the 10% off. And just try it for yourself. You get 3 ml. And you'll know within 3 ml if this is bottle worthy. If it's, oh my God, I need to add that to my collection. Or, it's okay. Or, oh my God, that's terrible. You won't know if you don't try it, right? Because everybody's going to be different. There's some that love it. There's some that hate it. I happen to be on the love it side. Hence why it's in this video. And honestly, if this was ranked, it would be sitting exactly where it is. At number 2. Zaharoff Signature Tabac. And my clear number 1. There's 2 concentrations of it. It is the exact same formula. With the Extrait, I do get a little bit more spice off of my skin, but it is the same formula. This is the 40% version of it. We're talking Argos Triumph of Bacchus. This is the 40% Extrait. Look at that beautiful plate. So there's a bit more that you get out of it with the plate, the newer cap, the newer atomizers. It's engraved on the back, has my name engraved at the bottom. Angle it to where you can see it. Engraving of Argos logo on the back. So if you have the original Triumph of Bacchus, you definitely do not need this. I have a multiple year macerated EDP, and it's super strong and rich and all that good stuff. This is stronger than that off Jump Street, and as it matures, this is just going to continue to get darker and richer. It's so good. Sweet fruits, peach and apple. Like I mentioned before, nice and spicy and warm and ambery in its core. There's a beautiful rum absolute accord that's used in here that makes it so warm and boozy without being over the top sweet, because rum can be very sweet. And it's really not. With the fruity notes in the rum, you would think kind of sounds pretty sweet. I think there's even a little bit of vanilla in here. Not over the top sweet. It is sweet, but not over the top. And the tobacco here doesn't really make it super earthy because of the, so I'm assuming the supporting notes are what make it this very moist, rich tobacco smell. This is my favorite, technically my favorite boozy fragrance and my favorite tobacco fragrance. Christian did a phenomenal job with Triumph of Bacchus. Again, I could have featured the EDP here. It's the one I've worn more. If you don't have either, I would recommend getting the Extrait, but you're fine with the EDP because that's a monster. This is Godzilla. If that's a monster, this is Godzilla, because they both perform great. This just performs a little bit better. This is unnecessary, honestly. It lasts too long. I don't need it to last till tomorrow on skin and survive showers and all that good stuff, because it will. It's that jam. It is the strongest fragrance in this video, and for me, the best tobacco in this video. Argos Triumph of Bacchus Extrait. That's my 10. Is that the only 10 I enjoy? Hell no, absolutely not. I love tobacco fragrances, as a lot of people do. That is quintessential cooler weather stuff. Day or night, work settings or casual, it don't matter. You can pretty much never go wrong with a really well-crafted tobacco fragrance. And to me, all 10 of these, very different, but really well-crafted. Worth your money, at least worth trying, tobacco fragrances. Again, I'll try to have links down below for everything if you want to check anything out. I appreciate you guys for watching and hanging the whole way through. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications before you leave. And I can almost guarantee, if you get any of these and you give it a spray now, you'll probably thank me later. Have a good one, guys.